Alright guys, today I am going to tell you a little bit about our infertility struggle that we went through before we got pregnant with her. I figured it would be nice for you guys to know a little bit more about us, a little bit more about what we went through to get pregnant with her. So Nick and I met in high school. We didn't go to the same school. We actually met at our church youth group. We were 16 years old when we met, and we became really good friends. And a few months later, we actually started dating. We dated for 7 years before we got married. We were engaged for 3 of those 7. So we got engaged when we were dating for 4 years, and then we got married when we were dating for 7 years. So we had a really nice wedding and everything like that, and we decided not to start a family right after we got married because we were both still in school and we were working and we were trying to buy a house, and we didn't want to bring a baby into the world if we couldn't afford him or her. So we decided to wait until we were getting ready to purchase a house in order to try to start to have a family. So we waited for about a year and a half after we got married to start trying to have kids and have a baby. It was a lot harder for us than we ever anticipated it to be. We started trying to have a baby, and I would go months and months at a time without having a period. I was on birth control pills since I was 16, so I didn't think anything of it when it took a while for me to get my period. I assumed it was because I was on birth control. So we were trying, and I kept not getting my period, so I kept having this hope that, okay, maybe I'm pregnant this time. Maybe this is the time. Maybe we'll have a positive test. And every time I would take a test, it would be negative. And I'm not going to lie, that is very, very discouraging. So I went to my doctor's, my regular gynecologist, and made an appointment with her to see what was going on. Maybe she would have some answers for me or something. And she referred me right away to a fertility specialist because she said that it's not normal not to have your period for so long at a time, and birth control shouldn't cause any of that and all that. So I got a referral for a fertility specialist. So I called to try to make an appointment with a fertility specialist, and they didn't have anything available for like 6 months almost until they could get me in there, because apparently they're very, very backed up. So we waited, my husband and I waited, and they told us just to keep trying up until we had our appointment. So obviously we weren't going to give up. We wanted a baby and a family so badly that we just kept trying and kept trying. So when I went to the fertility specialist, they put me on 2 medications. They put me on a medication called metformin and then another medication called Clomid. Metformin is actually used for diabetes a lot of times, but it also helps. In my case, I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So apparently metformin helps people with polycystic ovarian syndrome. It might help you ovulate or something. So I was on that. When we first went to the fertility specialist, they ran so many tests and blood work and did ultrasounds and all of these things to make sure that everything else was okay, and to try to figure out what the issue was. And then they finally decided that I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. So they put me on those 2 medications. Clomid is supposed to help you ovulate. So I got put on Clomid, and we did a cycle of Clomid, and meanwhile I would have to go to the fertility doctors every week or twice a week sometimes to get tests done, blood work and ultrasounds, and they would literally track my cycle to see when I would ovulate, so we knew when our best chances of conceiving would be. So we went, and the first round of Clomid, we went to the doctors and I had an ultrasound, and they said I had 4 eggs that were going to be ovulating. So they told us what we needed to do, and then they told me it would take 2 weeks for us to figure out whether or not we actually were successful and conceived a pregnancy and had a baby in there. So they told me in 2 weeks, take my first pregnancy test, and they said call them if the test was positive, and if it wasn't positive, call them after my period came, and that way they would schedule my next appointment so we can start it again. So those 2 weeks were the most, like, they felt so long. They felt a lot longer than 2 weeks. So this was October of 2015. So 2 weeks later, I took a pregnancy test. I had some saved from the many times before I took pregnancy tests. So I got one out when Nick and I were both home, and I went into the bathroom and took a test, and we got 2 lines, so which meant we were pregnant. After trying for almost a year, over a year and a half without successfully getting pregnant, and then finally seeing those 2 lines on that test, it was the greatest thing in the entire world. I broke down crying. Nick broke down crying. We were so excited. We were hugging and kissing and just so happy. We've never been so happy before. Because the hardest thing is when you want to start a family and it's just a struggle and you aren't getting pregnant month after month. It is so discouraging and so painful. Like, all I've ever wanted to do is be a mommy. So in order for me not to be able to get pregnant and have it not be easy and all of that, it was the worst thing in my life. So we were so excited when we got that first positive pregnancy test. So excited, we were crying, and we weren't going to tell our families, but we were so happy. And after trying for so long, we had to share the news with our family. So we made this cute little video and went 2 blocks away where his parents live at their house, and we showed them the video, and the video said something like Ollie had something and Ollie wanted to tell them something, and it said that we were pregnant, and they were so excited. They were crying and hugging. It's the first grandbaby that is on both sides of our family, so it was such an exciting time. So the next day we called my parents and Skyped them, because my parents live in Maryland, so we can't just drive to their house and tell them. So we Skyped my parents, to tell them the news. And we were so excited, so happy. And so I called my doctor and made an appointment to get our first ultrasound, which I could not wait for. I was so happy about that. So the night before our ultrasound appointment, I took another pregnancy test, just because I was always so nervous, and I just wanted to make sure everything was okay and everything was still there. And so I decided to take another pregnancy test the night before we had our ultrasound. And I took the test and it came back negative. So I really wasn't sure what happened. So I was like, all right, well, maybe it's just wrong, but in my heart, I knew something wasn't right, because, like, the longer you go, it shouldn't be getting negative. If anything, the line should be getting darker and stronger and all of that. So I was a nervous wreck. I was so scared then to go to that appointment. I was terrified of what they're going to tell me. So Nick and I went to our appointment that we're supposed to have our ultrasound and everything that next day. It was a Thursday, and we went in there, and all my blood work came back that I was pregnant and all of that, but we went in to have an ultrasound, and they told us that there was no heartbeat, there was an empty sac, there was nothing there. So let me just tell you, our hearts broke. We were so upset. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional in this video. I was devastated. I was so very upset. I mean, my heart was shattered into 1,000 pieces. I didn't even know what to think. I was just, all I did was, I just wanted to cry and cry and cry and cry. And I spent so many hours crying until I couldn't cry anymore. When you want something so bad, like being a parent, and you finally get that, and then it's taken away, like, we already had hopes and dreams, and we were wondering what that baby was going to be like, and it was the most difficult thing we've ever been through. And so I was ready to, we had to keep trying. We couldn't not try. We wanted this baby so badly that we were going to do anything that we had to do to get a baby. So we split up. So we just kept trying. So we didn't get pregnant in November. We didn't get pregnant in December. So we had 2 negative tests. And then finally in January, when we took our pregnancy test in January, we were pregnant again. So we were so excited, so happy. I actually took a test when Nick wasn't home and found out that I was pregnant, and I literally fell on the ground and just cried and thanked God, and I was so thankful to have another chance at this, because I wanted to be a mommy so badly. And in that moment, I was a mommy again. I had a little baby in my belly, and I was just so happy. So I didn't want to take away from that pregnancy, my pregnancy then, in any way. So I was so excited, but I was also very nervous too because of what happened the time before. But Nick wasn't home, so I was like, okay, we're gonna do something fun. I'm gonna reveal it to him in a fun way. So I went to the store and I got a couple cute little baby outfits and a little gift bag and a card, and wrapped up the pregnancy test in a gift bag and with the little onesies and all this cute stuff. And when he got home, it was sitting on the table waiting for him, and I gave him the bag when he got home and told him I had a little present for him, and he opened it, and we immediately both started crying and hugging and kissing, and just, we were so excited again. But also we were very nervous because of what happened the time before. But so we waited until our first ultrasound. So we were so nervous to go in for our first ultrasound because we didn't know what to expect. So we went in for our first ultrasound and our first blood work. The ultrasound came back, everything was great. We went in there, we saw a little flicker of the heartbeat, and that was the best feeling in the entire world, to know that the baby was in there, her heart was beating, and she was okay at that time and point, because that's farther than what we got the time before that. So we were so excited. We didn't tell any of our family or friends this time because we didn't want anybody to know, just in case something happened, because last time we got everybody so excited, and I feel like it was harder because we had to then tell them that we lost a baby. So we had to tell them that, and that was so hard. So we waited actually this time until we were about 7 weeks along to tell anybody. We didn't tell our parents, we didn't tell anybody, no friends, because we wanted to make sure, we wanted to go to the first few ultrasounds to make sure things were okay before we broke the news to our family. So we finally broke the news to our family. Everybody was so excited for this baby to come, and every ultrasound we went to, I was so nervous. I was just holding my breath for something to be wrong, just because, I don't know, I just felt like it was too good to be true, because it was something that I wanted so badly, and I waited for so long that I just wasn't sure if it was gonna actually happen. So literally every appointment we went to, I was so nervous, so scared, so nervous about everything. But 10 months later, we had a perfect little baby girl. She was born on September 28th, 2016. And she completely changed our world. I don't know what I would do without her here. I love this baby so much, more than you will ever know. And being that we struggled for so long to get pregnant, it's just so amazing to finally have this baby here. So I'm trying to encourage all of you people out there who are struggling with fertility issues. Hold your head up, don't give up hope, don't give up trying, because if you do, you never know what can happen. And if I gave up at that point in my life when we lost our first baby, I wouldn't have this beautiful girl here with me. And it's 2 months after she's been born today exactly, and I can't imagine her not being here. And my life has completely been made 1,000 times better just because of this little one. So I pray for all of you who are struggling, and just know that you're not alone in the struggle. You have people, we can all support each other, because I personally know exactly what you're going through. I've been through it. I would love to reach out to you guys, and if you guys want to talk about anything, if you just need somebody to talk to, just comment below. We can talk about it. Hopefully we can be support for other people who are also in the same boat as we are. So I just wanted to do this video just to encourage all of you guys, and to say I know what you're going through, and I know how hard it can be. And I hope that you don't give up hope, and I hope that you keep trying, because it is the greatest thing in the world. So, alright guys, we're going to say goodbye, but we're very happy that you watched this video. We do daily vlogs of this little one, so if you want to check them out, check out our videos. You guys can be a part of our family and a part of our lives, and we would love to have you. But hold your head up, guys. Things get better. And I'm going to pray for each and every one of you that someday, soon, hopefully, you will be able to have the best thing in your entire world. So, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.